Okay, can everybody see us and hear us?
We had a little bit of a complication there.
YouTube wouldn't let us on there for a second.
Yeah.
We had to put it on them. How many people we got?
We got a ton of people talking. They were waiting on us,
They're
I
waiting
guess.
on us?
Yeah, I guess so.
How many people we got in the room?
I don't know yet. I gotta get up here. I probably need to refresh.
Refresh it then, honey.
I'm refreshing.
Refresh it. I need to know if y'all can hear and see me now. Like my new t-shirt?
There's Jennifer. You were asking if Jennifer would be there.
Hi, Jennifer.
Here. Kitty's Homestead's in here.
Okay, hi, Kitty.
I don't know why I can't. I don't know. And nobody's saying hi to us. So, I don't know.
Refresh your thing.
We did, but I might have to completely go out and come back in.
This live stream is starting soon. It's saying when I leave it up.
Close out and come back in.
Okay, we're having the technical difficulties. If you can hear us, please bear with us. It was bound to happen to us sooner or later.
Yeah, got everybody else, so guess eventually it would happen to us. Yep, we're live now. It says we're live, so yep, there it is.
There it is. Hello, everybody. Okay.
Oh, Mike is home. So if you have a question for Mike, he's listening.
Yeah, better late than never, Mike.
Oh, hey, Grandpa's Farm.
Okay, can everybody hear us?
Yes.
Volume.
Oh, yeah, I always forget that part.
Okay, here's our new t-shirt for the week. It says, it's got a picture. That's Calf Pal, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Calf Pal.
Calf Pal, and it says, what does it say? Bovine Yoga, no mistake.
You don't say it right.
Well, then say it.
It's like how you say namaste, but instead of namaste, it says namaste. That's what it says.
Oh, so sorry.
There you go.
These are on our website as well for the small price of 10 bones plus shipping.
Yes. Okay.
All right. Whoops.
So, here we are. Karen, at least Karen got my joke. I like my joke. I think it's fun. Namaste. See? Sherry got it too. I'm going to have you know, we come up with these every week, and we start talking about what we're going to put on the shirts. And we're kind of having a hard time with this one. And I was literally driving down the road. I was driving down the road trying to think, because I had the picture in mind, but I couldn't think of what I wanted it to say. And I kept thinking, I want something about yoga, because I thought it was funny how the cow could just completely bend backwards. And I just thought it was funny. And then I thought of namaste, because I have a friend who eats an Ayurvedic diet, so she still eats meat and stuff.
What's that word mean?
Oh, Ayurvedic. I guess it's a kind of mentality that a lot of yogis use.
Yogis?
Yeah, that's what people that do yoga, a lot of yoga. So anyways, Sherry, we know that the picture's a little blurry. It's what we're running on. It's what's free. So sorry if it's a little blurry, but it's what we're running at right now as far as what's the streaming, whatever it is. This, because I don't see anything blurry.
Not unless Mike.
So anyway, okay, so hi everybody. We got a lot of people here. Wendy's here. Wayne from Wayne's Homestead.
Sup, Wayne?
Joyce, that's a new one I haven't seen before. Kitty's here. Lot of fun people. So that's cool.
Okay.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about
polyculture.
So for the audience, does everybody know what polyculture is?
Raise your hand if you don't know what polyculture means.
I'll give you the opposite of polyculture, and I'm not going to be stupid and say monoculture, but
Coca-Cola culture.
we have a friend. We have some friends of ours that coined a term that I absolutely love.
I can't remember it.
They called it McDonough culture.
McDonald culture.
McDonough culture, and
Ooh, you might want to turn the AC off. Can y'all hear the AC? Is that too loud? Do we need
sure
to turn
they
it
can
off?
hear it. I'll turn it off.
Mama can't live without her AC, y'all.
Oh, whatever. Okay, so anyway.
Oh, in case you didn't know, yesterday was Mama's birthday.
Bumblebee Junction cracks me up. He is still.
What's up, Doc?
He's still on the frog joke. He said pollywogs, illegally perked frog babies.
We know what a pollywog is, and thank you very much, sir. I am an honorable shellback.
Okay, so back to monoculture. Thank you guys. Thanks for the birthday wishes. I appreciate it. I literally am 39 and holding now. Okay, so let's get on to this real quick.
Don't look for me. I'm not saying nothing on that one. Nope. Just.
So anyway,
letting that one go.
back to the McDonough culture.
McDonough culture.
They coined that term because of how McDonald's and other fast food restaurants have really invaded how we think of how we.
They took over.
Yeah, well, invade.
The largest
over,
buyer. The largest buyer of beef, chicken, potatoes, tomatoes is
McDonald's.
McDonald's.
Yes. Now, how many of you, and this is just a question I want to throw out there, how many of you have seen the new McDonald's commercial? And I'm interested to see that because...
McDonald's got a new commercial?
Oh, yes. They have come out, and I had posted this a while back, and nobody commented on it. I was floored that nobody said anything. McDonald's has started jumping on the bandwagon. They know all the people are starting. No. I haven't even seen this on TV. Look it up on YouTube. I didn't see it on television. I've seen it on YouTube. Everybody's saying, I don't have cable. It's not on cable.
You saw it in the beginning of a video?
Huh?
You saw it on the beginning of a video?
No, I saw it in my feed for YouTube when it suggests different things for you to watch. It was one of the things. So anyways, what it is, hi Daniel, hi Krista from Go for Green.
Awesome!
Basically, check it out because what they're trying to now say is, and we actually drove by McDonald's today, they have signs up that they're now advertising they're 100% beef with no fillers, no additives, all that fun stuff. Now, this is what got me. They start talking about how they've been sustainably farming their fish for a while, supposedly, according to their definition, I guess.
How can you sustainably farm a fish?
Well, they're getting their fish from a sustainable source is basically what they're saying.
The ocean?
So, yeah. So the best part that cracked me up was it kind of reminded me of the Hershey's thing.
Oh, boy.
Is they have said that they're going to they're going to be using all cage-free chickens. Not even pasture chickens, but cage-free chickens by the year 2025. So still 9 years from now before they're going to be completely 100% cage-free.
Can you hand me that that's on the other side of the globe, please?
What is it?
I'll go get it. I'm not going to let it out what it is.
Oh. Okay. So, anyway, I thought that was really funny. But, okay, I have a couple of people are saying, you know, like Grandpa's Farm says, well, slime is also 100% beef. Yeah, I mean...
Thank you.
Yeah, depending on... Right. And...
See, here's the thing that a lot of people where the light bulb hasn't come on yet. They they hear 100% beef, 100% beef. They're not realizing they're still talking about the CAFOs.
And that's the thing, like...
They're still talking about the cows...
that are nut to butt, pardon my French, but the cows that are on top of each other. Sorry. The cows that are on top of each other.
Time out.
Sorry.
Last week, we had Dirt Patch Heaven dropping the S-bomb. And now you... Is there something in the Homestead Network water for the females?
In the water. Okay,
wow.
So let's just go back. Let's rewind.
No, let's not rewind.
So basically, just because it's 100% beef, that's not what this is about.
No.
They are still, just like I was saying, cage free. I mean, what does that really mean? All that means is that they're just gonna... They're not going to have them in cages. They're still going to be on top of each other and not able to move, not be able to get anywhere.
I love how they love to play with wordings. And then we're going to get off of this horse here, and then we're going to...
What, so that you can let Taco Bell use that? Oh. You said you're going to get off the horse. Sorry.
Okay, you're just allowed to read comments. and then we're going to get to the benefits of why a homestead, the benefits of a homestead being a polyculture homestead. I love how they like to play with words. It's like when we had to go get our egg candling license.
Yes.
And they told us flat out sitting there. Now this was the Georgia Department of Agriculture.
Yes.
So our know all, see all government.
Yep.
Sat there and told us, or was trying to tell everybody, there was no nutritional difference between a caged egg, a free-ranged egg versus a caged egg.
Caged egg, yes.
And of course, me being who I am, I politely raised my hand and said, "How can you say that? I got books upon books at the house that proves that statement is false."
Right.
And so now they have, at least in the state of good old Georgia, they have changed the definition. A free-ranged chicken is still the same chicken in the chicken houses, the big hoop houses, thingamabobs, but he has access to a 25 by 25 foot concrete pad on the outside, so he has access to sunshine. Access.
Now, has anybody seen these? Have you ever seen these hoop houses? Okay, go ahead.
You got these big long hoop houses. They're, if you imagine maybe two double wides, put them front to back. And that will be about how long these chicken houses are. And probably, if you do double wides, probably about as wide.
Right.
They will put an access door down on one end and give them access to the sunshine. But Foghorn Leghorn down on the other end, he doesn't even know that door exists because he's got 50,000 of his cousins between him and the door.
Right.
So that's how they're starting to change. Because when I asked him, I said, I don't understand basically how you're doing that. And then that's when he informed me that the chickens that I raise are called pasture raised chickens,
or pasture fed or something like that.
And they are different from
nutritionally different, right?
So, and
there's so many misleading things that people think. Like I always laugh and I see the people that are jumping on the bandwagon of GMOs and stuff like that, and they don't even know why a GMO is not a good thing.
Right.
But anyway, that's another show. We'll talk about that another time.
Just like, or the stuff you buy in a store that's organic, you do realize that they, at least in our wonderful state, that they are permitted to use a certain percentage of pesticides and herbicides and stuff on those plants. So you're still going to be, especially like if they use a systemic pesticide.
That's a big one, the systemic ones. Mm-hmm.
On strawberry plants, you're still going to be eating pesticide when you eat your strawberry, because I can never say it correctly. Systemic pesticide. What that does is it literally goes up and the plant
the roots. Mm-hmm.
sucks it up and it puts it out through its foliage and through its fruit.
Everything.
And that's how it kills the insects and stuff that are going on it. So when you take a bite of said strawberry, guess what you eat?
Pesticide. But anyway.
So the beneficial reasons for being a polyculture homestead. Now, everybody knows what polyculture is, right?
I didn't really get a yes or a no. Well, I did get a couple maybe no's, but I think we're kind of getting, we can kind of get into that a little bit.
Basically, a polyculture homestead is a homestead, like Joel Salatin, a homestead that has more than one specific breed on its homestead.
And more than one animal, really. I mean, because that's what, like, when you go drive by a chicken farm or you drive by just a cattle farm, that is a monoculture.
That's what's called a monoculture.
Right.
On a polyculture, people will have dairy cattle, beef cattle, goats, sheep,
chickens,
ducks, quail,
whatever. Mm-hmm.
All these different things. And 9 times out of 10, they have them working together through rotating pastures. And how you go about doing that is, and here's the thing. We started our polyculture homestead on a farm homestead that was 1.5 acres, 2 acres.
Our very first one?
Yeah.
No, it was half an acre. You didn't realize it, but it was half an acre, yeah.
It was a half an acre.
Right.
We had chickens. We had a garden. We had a pot-bellied pig.
Yeah.
So we had different things, and we were moving stuff around. And then we went to a little bit larger homestead, and we brought in a cow.
Right.
Ours was maybe the same size as Brad. Our second was maybe the same size as Brad's, maybe a little bit bigger.
Our cow?
Yeah. How big was that one?
Who are you talking about? Are you talking about T-Bone?
Yeah.
He was our first cow.
Yes.
When we started with him, he was a calf. But when he was done, he was a big boy.
Right. I'm talking about the acreage.
Oh, I thought you were talking about a cow. I'm sorry. Our second one was 2.5 acres.
2.5. So we were a little bit bigger than Brad.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how on 2.5 acres, and before y'all start filling up the chat box, don't say that you can't do it, because you can. You just got to think outside the box. What you do in a situation like that to be polycultured is you look at your neighbor, and if he's got a decent front yard, or he has roughly about the same amount as you do, you go over there and you talk to him and say, hey, let me run my cow on your little bit of yard right there, or a small pasture, whatever it is you got, and I'll follow it up with my chickens 3 days later, and it'll improve your landscape. That's what we did.
And we did that like crazy. And we even had a neighbor next door that he would farm or have a garden every summer. And then after the summer, instead of him having to go in and rip everything up and till everything out, we would turn our pigs loose, and they would come in and clean up all the other stuff.
And you start a working relationship with your neighbors, so that way you can do a rotating pastures. So it is possible. You just gotta
think outside
the box.
So Jennifer Deming wants to know, how many years have we been homesteading from the start? They're new. They're from Oklahoma.
8, 9?
Ladessa is almost 9, so almost 10. Really? Yeah, because almost 10 years.
It does not seem that way.
Yeah. So basics to living. Hi, glad you made it. So yeah.
Wow, we've been doing it almost a decade.
Almost 10 years.
Wow, Does not seem.
I mean,
long.
now we were in the baby stages when we first started, but if you want to
yeah.
count from the beginning.
From the absolute beginning, yeah. Because in the absolute beginning, well, I mean, we got videos on that.
Yeah.
But
you can even see our progression in our video.
Yeah, our if you yeah, you can watch the progression in our videos of how we improved in homesteading, how we improved in videography.
Right, Grandpa's farm is saying not outside the box, outside the farm. You got to think of outside of. You've got to use your resources.
Yeah, you've
got to really think about.
And it doesn't hurt to reach out to get to know your neighbor either.
Right.
You know, share the love. Because our very first neighbor that we were doing it with, you know, there was a lot of chatter up and down the road about, you know, how we were doing that on his grass and da-da-da. And then everybody started looking at his lawn. And then all of a sudden we had people knocking on the door.
Yeah, knocking on the door because it was so crazy how that worked.
You know, and this was right about the time that gas prices went.
Yeah, through the roof. So nobody wanted to even mow their grass because
so they didn't want to mow their grass, so they come knocking on our door.
Mm-hmm.
You think you want to run your stuff on us?
Mm-hmm.
And our egg mobile at the time was
made out of pallets.
Was ghetto.
Yeah, it really was.
Or it was. I'm sorry, it was Farmo.
Yeah.
It was made out of pallets, and how we moved it is we had thin-walled, and I don't know how we did this, but I don't know how that just didn't snap. But we had thin-walled 2-inch PVC.
Yeah.
And we would, when we'd go to move it, I would get in front and I would pick it up. My son would throw 1 or 2 chunks of PVC under there, and we'd start to roll it. And
it was a science. It was so funny because it was also my son was learning.
Yeah.
In his science about fulcrums and levers and things like that, and so he was the one that kind of started to come up with the idea of we had to get it up on something rolling.
We ended up moving. I bet you over the time that we probably pushed that eggmobile the better part of 10 miles on 2-inch PVC
pipe.
Because we must have had a dozen of them, and I know it had to be comical to be sitting in their house watching us push this.
Because we would get the back. Remember, the girls were young.
Yeah, and they were just running around bringing the chunks of PVC around on a
them.
blacktop road, and we would just boop, boop, boop. It had to be comical.
It was so funny to
watch.
But
that's how we were doing it. Our chickens were producing a tremendous amount of eggs. Mm-hmm. They were healthy. They were out in the sunshine. They were on grass. They were getting bugs. And in
they were
the
spreading
area,
out the
and they were spreading
cow
out the cow poo, which helped the people with their lawn, which in the circle it started producing more bugs and blah blah blah. But one of the things that we had to start doing in the very beginning to help with our chickens, because a lot of people down in Grovetown, Georgia, where we started this process, started the rotating process with the cow, the grass up there was almost next to none.
Yeah, there was no
spots.
Nutrients in it at all.
And so we had to put a maggot bucket on the side of our egg mobile.
Well, that's why we were really big about getting the cows over there, not just rotating the chickens on people's property. Is we brought the cows over, and they would eat and poop, and all of their poop would attract flies and larvae and all that stuff. And what would happen is the chickens would come in and scratch it all out and spread it out. And I'll never forget, we had a really good rain, and I started to see this gentleman's yard, his front yard had gone from, because it was just cleared land. There was nothing on it, and then they brought a trailer or whatever
and
on it.
You have to educate your when you're doing stuff like that, and then we'll get off of this rabbit too in a minute. You have to educate your neighbor when you're doing it, saying, look, let the grass grow up and go to seed.
Right.
So then that way that passes through and gets spread out.
Right,
and blah,
spreads
blah, blah.
out, right.
But the benefit...
Anyway, go back to the maggot bucket, because there's people going ew about maggot bucket. Explain to them what that was exactly.
Okay. What we did is we took one of them bright orange Home Depot buckets with a lid. We took a 1/4-inch drill bit and drilled the bottom. In the bottom. If we had any freezer burned meat, we saw any roadkill or anything like that,
definitely roadkill.
We would scoop it up, throw it in the bucket, snap the lid. There was very little smell because it was all contained in the bucket until you pop the top, and then of course you were like, ugh.
And we took one of those, you know, the things that you use for a garden hanger, remember, for the garden
Yes.
pots, and you put that on the side.
On the very bottom of the bucket, before we started loading it with roadkill, we used 1/2-inch hardware cloth to help strengthen the bottom a little bit. And then flies would crawl up through those holes, lay their eggs all in there, and then to get the chickens used to it for the first, I don't know, week, maybe so, you'd walk by with a stick, pop,
just pop it, mm-hmm.
and then the maggots would fall out of the quarter-inch holes and come down on the ground. So pretty soon, where it got to where the chickens realized that's where to come up to it, and they'd go up and they'd peck on the bucket, and then maggots would fall.
Right.
And so it was just adding another source of protein to their diet, so that way they could produce better quality eggs.
There was a question earlier. Somebody was asking how many acres we're on. We're on 21 acres.
We're on 21. Please put.
They are.
Okay,
I don't want to be rude. No, I don't want to be rude. I'm trying not to interrupt you. So but
now we're on 21 acres and we rotate our pastures. We still throw the cows out first, and we've got Daisy, Baldy, Calf Pal, and Delma. I can never. We didn't name Delma. That's why.
No, that's right.
And Delma. They go first. Then 3 days after they're off of and because we only have 5 head of cattle, the paddocks that we're running them on are rather small.
Right.
Because I want them to mow it down in 24 hours. And then I jump them to the next one. Then to the next one, to the next one. 3 days after they left that first one, we bring in the chickens. And the chickens go in there and they just attack those cow patties and spread them all out. Do their thing the next day, and then we move them behind them. Then after the chickens are done, we bring in the sheep. And then, because the sheep will take it down just a little bit further. And then we run the sheep off, and then we're done for about 7 to 10 days. Sometimes it's even about 2 weeks before they get back to that spot. And then we just keep bouncing and keep rotating. That 2-week period is that time for that small paddock for it to rest. Now, we were blessed when we got this property. We didn't have to overseed with anything. But if you just got one type of grass on your pastures, you're going to want to overseed with something else. Clovers,
and there's different types of clover.
Yes,
there's Alice clover. There's
the white clover. All of that, and you want to make it a salad bar, because each different type of grass has its own different benefit to your animals, and the purpose behind the intense grazing and leaving them there for only 24 hours and making it a small paddock, because we're only running 5 cows, it forces these cows to eat everything, which then stops any of the nasty weeds from growing, a lot of vines and kudzu and junk like that, because it forces them to come through and eat everything. Because cows are just like children. They will go through and eat the ice cream first, and then you have to force them to eat their vegetables. So they'll go through and they'll eat the clover and they'll eat the bahia, but they really don't. They may not want to touch the plantain, or they may not want to touch some of the other stuff that's in there.
Say hi to Doug and Stacy.
Sup, Homestead homies. But then after you do the cows, you do that. And see, and that's 2 different polycultures working together. You got the polyculture of your grasses working together to keep your animals healthy. And then you have the polyculture of your animals working together. Now, one thing that I forgot to mention with the polyculture of running each one of these guys behind one another after each other's been gone, you start to eliminate the chances of any type of parasites. Because you run the cows through there, and then the chickens come through, and they can't get the same parasite, same breed of parasite that the cow can get.
Right.
So if your cow has any type of a worm or anything and it's in its poo, they're gonna eat it.
Right. Okay, I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
Kara, I did see your question. I was just waiting for Jason. One of the questions is, since we have 21 acres, how far away are our neighbors? They're still far enough away, but most of our acreage is behind us, not around. Our house is not in the middle of the 21 acres, it's at the front of it. So most of ours is back behind us.
We have, at the end of my driveway, I have a neighbor.
And we have a church right across the street.
Right across the street. And then the pastor lives right there. We have right next door. Ours is pretty much just a rectangle.
No, it actually is a triangle. It kind of goes like that. But anyway, I digress. Anyway, okay, next question, quick. Sherry asked, do humans eat kudzu? Yes. Humans can eat kudzu.
Yes. And they can, and help me out, Doug, Stacy, I know you guys know, and Daniel, I know you know, you're still in here. But you can make the root of the kudzu, you can turn and use into flour. You can fry the kudzu leaves and make chips. But you can do something else with the kudzu root that it's healthy and beneficial, and I can't remember right off the top of my head. Somebody help me out here. I know you guys know. You're in there. You're just laughing at me struggling.
Yeah, they're just letting you struggle. But I know you can use it as a green.
Mm-hmm. As long as it's kudzu and not an ivy. You can't do anything with the ivies. It's got to be a kudzu.
Yeah. Root is a headache remedy. That's it.
Yeah. Who saved me?
Bumblebee. Doc.
Thanks, Doc.
Doc.
Forgot.
Another question was, do we raise ducks? Yes. We have, whether you go by different, we've heard different pronunciations.
They're Muscovies.
Muscovy, Muscovy,
Yeah.
Muscovy. We call them Muscovies.
Muscovies. Mm-hmm. We have Muscovies, and we have the Chinese African geese, or the African geese, or whatever.
Chinese geese, I think.
Whatever.
I don't know.
They're
geese.
They're geese. And we have, of course, chickens.
Yes. I have a lot of different.
So you have those. Let's go
back to the polyculture. There's a good example right there.
So you have those different polycultures working together in harmony. Mm-hmm. You also should practice the polyculture in your gardening.
Yes.
But they don't call it polyculture in gardening. They come up with their own term. They call it companion gardening. Mm-hmm. And how you do that is like the most famous one is, what is it? The Four Sisters, the Three Sisters.
I always hear the pizza garden. Like, I've always heard it called the pizza garden, with the tomatoes, the peppers, garlic, basil,
and oregano.
Yeah.
And what they do is, and you can Google it, there's all different websites and stuff about it, but the premise behind the companion gardening is you plant tomatoes, for example, and some of the problems, one of the bugs that tomatoes have a hard issue with is aphids.
Aphids. Mm-hmm.
But aphids get repelled by peppers. They can't stand to be around a pepper plant. So they work together in harmony to keep each other healthy, wealthy, and wise. So that's another example of how a polyculture is working together.
Right.
Where if you just plant straight, and I'm not kicking anybody who just does row gardening, but if you just plant a whole 5 acres of corn and corn worms come in there, it could wipe out the whole thing. But if you do like a row of corn and then a row of one of its companions and then another row of its companions and then you do that all over your homestead, you stand I'm not saying you're going to eliminate all the insect problems altogether, but your plants will be healthier and you will lower your chance with insects. And also, each plant is pulling something different from the soil. Mm-hmm. Like, what is it? Peas put nitrogen back in the soil?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up. I just know that there's a certain way to rotate stuff so
Yeah.
that you can. Doug and Stacy finally came in. They said kudzu is used to treat alcoholism, to reduce symptoms of alcohol hangover, including headache, upset stomach, dizziness, and vomiting. So.
I need to plant kudzu.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so yes, part of the Back to Eden concept. Yes.
Well,
a little bit.
A little bit, because if you watched the guy who came out and watched his Back to Eden film, he doesn't really speak about companion gardening all that way. He's pretty much just talking about the permaculture, and he's talking about how the insect control is controlled because the plants have so much water and they're so healthy because of the wood chips helping control the moisture in the air in the soil. That basically he's saying that when a bug bites into the plant, that is drowning because of how juicy it is. The companion style gardening you can do in the Back to Eden garden. You can do it in a raised bed with square foot gardening. That it kind of really originated in the square foot gardening world, is where it really came into play heavily, because in that square foot you're trying to pack so much stuff in there, and then they started learning what works well with each other and what doesn't, and what helps each other, and blah blah blah. So how are we doing on time? Okay, good. Run my mouth.
No, you still have 20 minutes.
Yes.
You can run your mouth all you want.
So, and being a polyculture homestead, and other channels have touched on this with their videos, you can also use your livestock and stuff to your advantage.
Right.
If you want a new area in your homestead cleared out, you put the goats in there first. And then you follow the goats up. If you want to till it up or whatever, you can follow the goats.
Or pull
with
roots,
pigs.
small saplings,
Yes.
you can pull the roots right out.
Okay, I got a question real quick. Can anybody tell me what these are?
Let's see.
They're all the same animal.
Jason, is that a rib bone? No, it's
Nope.
not.
Not a rib bone.
Isn't polyculture what the homestead is all about as opposed to a commercial farm?
Yes.
Yes, kind of. Bones, no. There you go, Karen. Good job, James. Tusks, that is exactly
right.
Hog tusks.
These were Obama's. We had a Yorkshire pig named Obama, and they were his.
Yes.
So yes, they are hog's teeth. Now we have some exciting news.
Exciting news.
Yeah, exciting news.
We do?
And yes,
Oh.
but who was the one that said that? Isn't that what the homestead was all about?
Oh, that
was that?
was...
Come on, you're falling down on your job here. Come on now.
Jennifer.
Jennifer,
Our
you're
new
exactly right,
Mhm.
Miss Jennifer. Exactly right. A lot of us started homesteading, prepping, blah blah blah, because
Whatever you want to
of
call it.
health reasons. Because we started realizing that the food that we were eating wasn't healthy. I mean, how many salmonella scares does it take before you finally go, what in the world is going on with the food?
Right.
You know, how many mad cows does it take before you go, what are they doing to the cow? And people started, just like us, started researching, started learning. And yes, so that mainly now that's what the homestead movement is kind of about, is a polyculture. But sometimes, and a lot of it has to do with the size of the homestead, but some people fall into the niche where they just have one or two things, and then that's it, and it's not really a polyculture, but it is, but you know what I'm saying?
Say hi to Brad. He's come in with his funny jokes.
Oh,
He
hi,
said
Brad.
salmonella.
Hey Brad, like my new shirt?
You can't even see
Well,
it.
stand up and show him the shirt.
No, I'm not going to show you. So real quick, Bo asked if you can spray pepper spray on your plants to keep the aphids off? Can you just take a pepper and
Yes.
use it that way?
Believe it or not, and look, if you haven't figured it out yet, I'm a United States Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine. And I served on embassy duty, and we got tased and we got hit with pepper spray as part of our training process. And one of the things that we had to learn about was pepper spray. And pepper spray is just a food substance. I mean, it's just almost like your essential oil, but with peppers. So yes, you can do that. Another thing that you can do that a lot of people don't know is you can go, some of your feed and seeds will have it. If not, you can just Google it and order it, but you can get what's called trapper's glue. And you can take a junk piece of plywood, OSB, a pallet, whatever, paint it yellow, put the trapper's glue on there, and put it relatively close to your tomato plants, and the aphids will go to that versus your tomato plants, because it's the yellow flower that they're really attracted to.
Yes. Go for Green says they make it out of ghost pepper. Whew. That would be rough. Okay. So, let's see.
Okay,
Everybody's saying thank you for your service. Carolina Reaper. Yeah, we do have Carolina Reaper here, so you can, yes.
Yep.
Hold on. Bumblebee Junction says, keep in mind that a lot of times it is ants that carry, place, and milk the aphids. Ant control can be just as effective with the aphids as well. Yes.
And essential oil peppermint is good for ants, to repel ants.
Yes. That works really well. We've used that before.
Now, you do have to go out and spray it almost daily when you're doing your daily walk through your garden. Just, you know, but it works. Just like any type of liquid dish soap diluted with water.
That was mentioned. Tara said that you could just take some soapy water, but it was, I don't remember who it was, said that they used that and killed their first apple tree because they sprayed the dish
You
soap.
shouldn't have sprayed it on an apple tree.
Yeah, I don't. So the question is, do you want ants in the garden or not? Ugh.
Here in the state of Georgia, the fire ant capital of the world, no, ma'am, no, sir, no, I do not.
We get tore up every year.
There's a video in our thing.
In our Facebook.
It's called Fire Ants on the Homestead. You want to laugh? Go listen to that story.
Yeah, that's not.
Because we were setting up our makeshift, failing miserably aquaponic system that we have had. It's pathetic. It's not even really working. We failed.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to my exciting news.
Oh yeah, we got
Exciting for us. Anyway, Tommy from Off the Grid Nation is moving this week. So he's not going to be able to do his show. Brad called me today and said, "Would you like to go to prime time?" And I said, "I am prime time."
with your farm cred.
My farm cred. Didn't you see Homestead happenings? And but we are just 1 week only, just this weekend. We are going to be a substitute teacher for Tommy's time slot. So we're going to be on again Sunday from 9 to 10 Eastern time. So we're looking forward to that. Thank you for that opportunity, Brad. We appreciate it.
Yes.
It's going to be fun. I don't know. Maybe even fried squash will show up.
No. I won't be able to make it through. Okay, everybody is like really, they all loved your Homestead Minutes. So.
We changed the name to Homestead Happenings because we've got, but we took a panel discussion. We snuck on live one day and like 30 of y'all jumped on with us. So we took a panel real quick. So we changed the name to Homestead Happenings. We're also, because during that panel that was in there, we're also going to go live on Mondays at the same time from 8 to 9.
Right.
So because we had some people that were able to jump on about 5 or 6 on, I guess what was it, Wednesday?
I don't know.
And they was like, please, you know, we would like one earlier in the week, so we're going to do that. So that's two things. What is so funny?
I'm just laughing. No, because everybody says fried squash is my hero. I love me some fried squash. It's just funny to see. I'm telling you, as much as you guys like watching it, we like putting them together. We are really enjoying all of that because our whole family gets in this schoolhouse and we all sit down and we have this whiteboard behind us and we just start doing.
I mean, no, wait a minute, no, I can't say that because fried squash is his own person.
Yeah, so, okay, so let's see. How do we know when someone jumps on live? If you go into your settings on YouTube, you can set it up so that you get notifications. And then, yeah, when you check your subscriptions, there's a way to set it up so that you get you kind of get
like an email or...
Yeah, I think it's an email and you get a link to it or something like that.
Because, like, for example, every time Go for Green Living, Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, Brad, just about anybody in the Homestead Network puts out a new video, we get an email alert.
Right.
So, as soon as they go live, the stupid phone goes ding.
Yeah.
So there's a way to set it up in there, but I think you do have to be subscribed. So if you're not subscribed, come on over, hit the button.
Right.
But yeah, that's our exciting news. Plus our new shirt. Please stand up so they can see the shirt.
They can't really see it. I'm gonna put it up on our website after.
It says.
It's hard to see.
Yes, it is. We're gonna go get that new webcam that Brad was talking about.
This is our calf pal. Her name is Calf Pal. She's our latest calf. And up here is our logo. And down, well, it goes this way. It says Bovine Yoga. And then it says Namaste.
Namaste.
So,
for all you Yogidians out there. So that's on the website. Of course, a video every Wednesday is coming out. This week we had weather issues and YouTube issues that we just now got Wednesday's video out about 30 minutes before we went live.
Right.
So after we hang out with Go for Green, you guys' homework is to go check out the very first predator control on the Homestead video. Now, guys, I shared my opinion about relocation and dispatching the animals on there. So, it's my opinion, my thoughts. I gave them why I think and believe that way. And I gave the two options that the state of Georgia says is okay for dispatching. I'm trying to think somebody was drinking when they made up that phone. So, we covered it all. We kept it. I didn't dispatch any animals. I didn't have any animals in a trap. I think did I put the picture of Carol and her possums on there?
I don't know. I wasn't in on
I can't remember. But we've got different pictures of them. We did it's a long video. It's like 37 minutes. But we're very thorough with it. So if you guys are having predator problems on there, on your homesteads, check out that video because, this one's just on possum. Next week's going to be on the masked bandit, the raccoon. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be probably just as thorough, if not more, because the raccoon is a lot trickier than a possum. Because, to be honest with you, I've caught possums in empty cages. I just went out there, stuck the cage out, and he walked right in.
Right.
Possums are not the most intelligent animal in the world.
Right.
But it's a semi-long video. And that's another thing about with polyculture that you want to have on your homestead. If you've got the land, you want to have a section of woods.
Right.
Just for the wildlife. Keep them in there. Sporadically hunt in there so that way in that area it doesn't get overpopulated. So then that way your predators don't start coming this way. trap through there, thin out your predators, keep everybody in check. Keep doing everything that way. Okay, we've got about 5 minutes left, so let's open it up for questions. It doesn't have to be on the polyculture. You guys can ask us anything you want to ask. Ready, set, go.
In about 7 or 8 seconds, you'll get questions, maybe.
Okay. So.
We have a couple people from Georgia. Back to Basics to Living is from Georgia. They're having a discussion back and forth on how to set up your settings so that you get
the notifications. Oh, okay.
Fish or cat in any of the videos?
We don't have fishers down here. But I really don't have any experience catching a fisher. That's one of the things that's on my bucket list that as a trapper I want to have the opportunity to go catch. But I can do a video on it. I've got lots of books, trapping books and stuff in there that the fishers are on them. So I got the knowledge of the biology of an animal, and I've watched enough videos and shows and talked with other trappers and other trapping associations because anytime a northern trapper comes down here to our convention, I'm all up in his grill about fishers and badgers, because those are 2 that are on, and wolverines. Those are 3 that are on my bucket list that before I want to catch.
Okay, real quick.
Okay.
Need a video on no. Basic YouTube setup. That's not really.
Brad.
Yeah, Brad can handle that one.
Speaking of that, time out. Brad. Ooh, I don't know if I'm allowed to. Yeah, he said he put it up. Brad is doing his technical videos thing on Thursdays, I think. I don't remember what time. Help me out, Brad, if you're still here.
He is.
Okay. Tell him what time, Brad, that you're doing your technical videos on Thursdays, and he covers all that kind of stuff. It's more or less a live stream kind of for creators to help them with their filming process.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure he's going to get into YouTube settings and such later on. All right. What's the next question?
Does a peppermint plant work instead of the spray? Not entirely. We have peppermint really close to where our beds are, our raised beds, and they don't seem to deter very well. I think it's the concentration of the oil that actually does do. Jennifer wants to know, are you ever going to do a series on trapping? Maybe you have. Remember, she's new. We just, the one that you're doing, that you did today, is the first in a series of predator control on, I'm not done, on the Homestead. However, Jason is a trapper by trade, and if you go back and look at all of our...
Don't send them back to those.
Oh, come on. They're still good and informative. Anyway, he's got a lot of videos about different types of sets.
Jennifer, what are you trying to trap?
We'll find out.
We'll find out in 7 to 8 seconds. But our trapping season starts in December. And Brad's even asked me to kind of do more videos on trapping and hunting and stuff, because he doesn't know how either. And he wants to learn. So starting in December is when I'm going to hit trapping videos really hard. And that's one of the reasons why on this list, muskrats and beavers are not on this list that I'm going to on the predator control series, even though they both are predators for guys with larger homesteads that have ponds and creeks on there, because they can be very destructive. But there are so many different things, especially when it comes to the beeve. There's so many different sets that it deserves its own series all by itself, and that's something we're going to do starting in December.
Okay, real quick.
Last one.
That's a good one. But Brad does his at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Thursdays.
8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Thursdays.
And Ava wanted to know, can we store dates in the fridge? I don't know. We don't do dates yet, so I'm not sure. Brad wanted to know, what's your favorite weapon for homestead defense?
For me or for my wife?
No, not even for your wife anymore.
Yeah.
Because your wife is a pretty good shot.
Mine is it's a shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a sawed-off shotgun, so it's not a long barrel, but it is a shotgun. And I'll argue till I'm blue in the face with anybody because I'm a combat veteran. I know what adrenaline does to you, and
Right.
there's not that many people that can be staring somebody down the face when it comes to a situation where it's him or me. Look at him and be able to hold
completely accurate with
hold the weapon steady. At least with the shotgun, if it's going down the hallway, if you're standing in a hallway and it's you and the bad guy, you're gonna hit him. Especially if you got it with double aught buck, because it comes out and there's a bunch of those BBs in there and it comes out. Whoa. I'm a 12 gauge guy, but I'm a bigger guy. Brad, you're big like me. You should be a 12 gauge. Mama over here, her size.
I have a 20
it's
gauge.
a 20 gauge.
Right. And he said, from the mouth of a Marine, shotgun, nice. Well, that means we are cutting into their
Go
time.
for green. Go for green's time.
Everybody, it's been great.
We love you guys. Don't forget, we're on Instagram now. Come on over. Follow us. Follow us on Twitter. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Get over to Go for Green Living. It's their time. They're sitting there wondering, Jason must be still running his mouth. Nobody's here. Get on over there. They're part of the Homestead Network.
And don't forget, we'll be on Sunday.
We'll be on Sunday from 9 to 10 as a substitute teacher from Tommy for Off the Grid Nation. We love you guys. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.